Hello viewer, the Nameless Scholar here. I have decided to once again switch my style, because after I published my previous video, I sat down and was thinking, hold on a minute, I should really be making proper lore videos on Age of Sigmar, because I generally know that Age of Sigmar as a setting is now well written, that GW gives it more love and care lore-wise than it does with Warhammer 40k. So I want to show people that Age of Sigmar is now more than just the game that killed Warhammer Fantasy. How does that fit my change of style? Well, I also realized that Age of Sigmar lacks its own He Who Shall Not Be Named. So with the previous reason, and this, I have decided that if nobody wants to be the AOS Voldemort, then
I will!
So before I started with the mythos and the factions of the setting, I wanted to tackle the locations that the setting takes place in. The mortal realms themselves. Think of the mortal realms like the realms in Norse mythology. You have your Midgard, which was Earth, Asgard, and the like. The mortal realms are located in the etheric void, and they were formed with the destruction of the world that was. Each of the mortal realms embody the aspects of the winds of magic. The realms are named after them. Well, after all, there is Aqshy, the realm of fire, Shyish, the realm of death, Ulgu, the realm of shadow, Hysh, the realm of light, Azyr, the realm of heavens, Ghyran, the realm of life, Ghur, realm of beasts, and finally Chamon, the realm of metal. The mortal realms are described as discs hanging on the etheric void, stabilized by things called realm spheres, which set the end of the realm itself. Each of these realms are technically not infinite, but for a mortal they might as well be. For the Zoomers like me, think of it like how a Minecraft world works. Before Mojang put a border over it, once you go beyond the 64-bit integer limit, your game simply crashes. In the case of the Mortal Realms, once you go beyond a certain point, you will be torn apart by the winds of the respective realms' magic. However, the Mortal Realms are not alone. There are sub-realms between the main realms, the most famous of which being Ulgu, the realm of Twilight, where the former Order Pantheon, with the aid of Morathi, imprisoned Slaanesh with 66 paradoxical chains to rescue as many elf souls from its gullet as possible. This means there are much more sub-realms we do not know of that Black Library could explore should Games Workshop give them the green light. For example, between Hysh and Azyr could be a realm of stars where celestial bodies reside. Between Azyr and Ghyran could be a realm of warmth where it's practically a Minecraft plains biome. Between Ghyran and Ghur could be a realm of primeval life, where the flora is like that of Lustria, the jungle trees being gigantic and thick, stretching across the sky, full of primeval fauna as well. Between Ghur and Chamon could be a realm where it is all just rock. There's no sky, only labyrinthine tunnels resembling an ant farm formed by giant worms that inhabit the subrealm. I can say that this place would have a particularly large Skaven infestation, even if they were to be forced to constantly fend off against those aforementioned worms. Speaking of subrealms, one subrealm in particular is Blight City, where it is filled to the brim with Skaven. It is where the Great Horn Rat sends his never-ending servants to destroy the mortal realms. It is located between Chamon and Aqshy. However, it is not truly a sub-realm, more described as a crack in the reality, where the Great Horn Rat made its home, chittering and scheming. Between Aqshy and Shyish could be a realm of entropy, where there's a cycle of beginning and a permanent stagnation. I am sure Nagash would covet such a place, as this and Grandfather Nurgle himself would be particularly envious of it. The best way I could describe such a place like this is Limbo, where the sky, the train, everything are just dull shades of grey. And finally, between Shyish and Ulgu could be a realm of abyss, where it's so dark it is impossible to see even your own body, that not even conventional light can illuminate surroundings, that this could be where the shadow creatures of Ulgu actually originate from. But that is enough speculation on the sub-realm, so before I cover the realms proper, I want to also cover another location that is technically a sub-realm, which is the Varan Spire. It is where the fortress of Archaon is located, and it is from attacking here that he brought 7 of the 8 mortal realms to their knees. Let's start in a clockwise direction. Azyr, the realm of heavens. Azyr is the least corrupted of the mortal realms, as the God King himself has established it as his own domain alongside the aid of Grugni. The best way I could describe how Azyr looks is that it is a combination of Valhalla and the third heaven of Christianity, with the sky dotted with what seems to be thousands of distant yet close stars. It has a lot of satellites orbiting around it. However, the most important of them all is the Sigmarite core of the world that was, which Sigmar refuses to speak of. Even asking about it is enough to suffer his wrath. During the Age of Chaos, many refugees came from the other mortal realms, and they found safety within the realm of heavens, especially under the Sigmarabulum, the great building suspended in the sky with a great ring built around it, housing the Anvil of Apotheosis, where the Stormcast Eternals are literally forged by lightning. The refugees and the original inhabitants of Azyr waited centuries to return to their respective realms, and they were all united by their mutual hatred of chaos. When the Skybreaker Crusades began, they founded what would be later known as the Cities of Sigmar. Ghyran is the realm of life. Because of this, it is the realm of Alarielle the Everqueen. Ghyran is full of life, both fauna and flora. You can imagine how it looks like as a place of unbound life, where the trees, grass, flowers, bushes, animals, and the like are abound, and the animals are Ghyran are beasts of burden and the like. The wild animals are not different from our world, as well as fantastical creatures from the world that was are also present. Everything I mentioned is also why Nurgle has set his eyes upon the Jade Realm. Throughout the Age of Chaos, Alarielle had entered into a slumber as rot and decay took over the realm. For a while, the realm mirrored the realm of Nurgle itself, all because Nurgle was seeking Alarielle, wanting to put her in the cage in his manner that Alarielle's predecessor was trapped inside all those eons ago. However, due to their pact, Ghyran is one of the locations that Sigmar's Tempest broke the strongest. When the Dawnbreaker Crusade started to happen, Alarielle also woke up from her slumber and joined Sigmar's side once more. Where all the things take place is the Everspring Swath. 2 great islands form it. Those islands are called Verdia and Theria. Verdia is a land where all creatures are female, whereas Theria is a land where all creatures are male. During mating season, there will be mass migrations where flora and fauna come together en masse to produce new life, even if the shadow of Grandfather Nurgle looms eternally over the realm. When the forces of Nurgle invaded Ghyran during the Age of Chaos, rivers ran yellow with pus, mountains were crusted with filth, and forests decayed as the earth they had taken roots on were overtaken by maggots. However, when Sigmar's Tempest broke out, the Jade Kingdom somewhat returned to their former selves, with Alarielle emerging like a butterfly, reborn and rejuvenated. Among the 2 grand islands that make up the Everspring Swath, Verdia is the more prosperous one, as not only is it the home of the Everqueen, but 3 cities of Sigmar, which are Greywater Fastness, the Phoenicium, and Hammerhall Ghyra reside. This is where most Sigmarite strongholds and Sylvaneth woods reside. Even if the enemies of the God King and the Everqueen are prevalent here, for example, ogres, orcs, goblins, and the like still prowl, the Slaves of Darkness are spread so thin that they have a presence everywhere but Azyr, and most importantly, the north of Verdia is still overtaken by Nurglite corruption. Theria, on the other hand, is the wild west of Ghyran, as the Living City is the only city of Sigmar on the island. It is them who are responsible for establishing frontiers there and reclaim what is theirs. One final note I would like to add is that Ghyran is home to Aqua Ghyranis, a water with purifying qualities that the Dawnbreaker Crusades used to purify corrupted grounds. It is also used in small doses as medicine, so Ghyran's waters in of themselves are health potions. Ghur is the realm of beasts. Ghur is one of the most hostile places that you will ever come across, as it is also the de facto realm of Grand Order destruction. Because here, the only rule is survival of the fittest. Even rivers, mountains, continents, and tectonic plates are trying to kill each other. The ground is ever shifting, and so are the climates and the biomes. To explain how lethal Ghur is as a realm, imagine that you are a hiker. You may find the hill or mountains you are hiking to seemingly on purpose, making the ground on the floor jagged and serrated. The path you take might be extremely steep, while the threat of what are essentially polar bears on steroids are ever present. Let's say you survived all of that and went over the mountain. You might find yourself in a savanna roamed by long-legged grazers, and the week afterwards in a mesa or plateau full of 100-legged insects. Even the plants are trying to kill animals and each other, as imagine the leaves being sharp as knives and eating animals like a Venus flytrap. Assuming that something big and bad isn't hiding in it, should you seek refuge in a cave in Ghur, you might wake up to find the terrain slid slightly out of position. Alongside that, Ghur is littered with titanic bones of ancient beasts, and remember how I told you that even tectonic plates are trying to fight one another? Yeah, it's one of the reasons why founding a stronghold on the realm is very difficult, as earthquakes are very common here. If by some miracle the stronghold you have established is on very stable foundation, you still have to deal with the plethora of things that want to destroy it, such as orcs, goblins, ogres, or the sons of behemoths. Stuff like this, how even natural terrain features want to destroy each other. The denizens of Ghur are rugged survivalists. Those who hesitate die. And I won't be mentioning the Era of the Beast, as that is for another video. In this video, I only wish to teach beginners on the mortal realms and how they function. Chamon, being the realm of metal, is not somewhere I would personally like to live. Now, like all of the mortal realms, Chamon is theoretically habitable, and there are things living on it. However, I still don't like the idea of rivers of quicksilver and seas comprising of molten metal. In Chamon, mountains are formed from giant hunks of solid metal. Its flora is metallic in nature even. Not only that, these metallic flora are actually edible. Chamon is where the Caradron overlords operate out of, as most of the strong points and settlements on it are dwarf settlements, if not established by the city of Vindicarum. Despite its ecosystem that seems to defy all laws of logic, Chamon is a great place for technological advancements and for wealth. For in Chamon, metals are so common they are taken for granted. Because of the venture potential of Chamon, it has potential for many changes. Which leads to... well, Tzeentch happened. During the Age of Chaos, just like how Nurgle had set his eyes upon Ghyran, Tzeentch set his many eyes upon Chamon, and warped Chamon into something from his twisted vision. How that came to be is this. Once, the Spiral Crux was the heart of Chamonite civilization. The land was crafted perfectly by the smithing god Grugni. However, at the center of it, a god beast known as the Lord Griffin decided to roost. It was such a huge threat that his presence crumpled continents and sent tectonic plates crashing into one another. To end the threat, the tribes of Chamon gathered to slay the god beast, and just as planned, they succeeded. From its death, a wound was opened in reality, and from the realm of chaos poured out the demons of the Architect of Fate. The explosion that came from the death of the Lord Griffin was so damaging to the realm, Tzeentch used it to create the Spiral Crux. a maelstrom of molten metal and land masses, where the closer you get to the center, the more likely that you will go insane from the sheer amount of Tzeentch and corruption present there, to the point it is the destruction of the heart of Chamonite civilization that had formed the Kharadron overlords and why they have giant air blimps. Only when Sigmar's Tempest also broke in Chamon did the Kharadron overlords start sending expeditions to Chamon's surface. With the coming of the Dawnbreaker Crusades, the outskirts of the spiral became more habitable, but it is still filled to the brim with chaos-worshipping locals and Zangors, as well as many other nameless eldritch abominations that Tzeentch can conjure. And I'm not just talking about demons or chaos spawn here. Aqshy is the realm of fire, where it's hot. Main terrain features are barren, scorched, or bloodied wastelands. The rivers and the seas are boiling hot. Even the realm itself shows this, as from the nearby mortal realms, which are Chamon and Shyish, one can see Aqshy with the naked eye at night as a bright orange dot in the sky. The denizens of Aqshy live and die fast, yet it is the strongest realm where Sigmar's Tempest broke. Because of Aqshy's nature and the lifestyle of its denizens, Khorne has set his eyes upon the realm of fire, where the eastern part of the Great Parch is filled to the brim with chaos worshippers, especially of Khorne. Even if the other gods do have a presence here, Khorne has made it clear that he wants this place for himself, even if this place marked the beginning of the Realm Gate Wars. Like in Ghyran, there are 4 free cities in Aqshy, those being Hollowheart, Tempest's Eye, Emerald Aqshy, and Anvilgard, which the last one, to celebrate her ascension to godhood, and to assert her soft power over Grand Alliance order, Morathi annexed the city and renamed it Harkuron. As much as this drew the ire of the anvils of the Heldenhammer storm host, Sigmar has tried his absolute best to retain the peace between him and Morathi. Aside from that, the cities of Sigmar and their Stormcast allies fight as much as they can to reclaim Aqshy in the name of the God King. I would continue more, but most of the lore about Aqshy is regarding Hammerhall Aqshy, which I intend to cover in a Cities of Sigmar lore video. Shyish is the realm of death, ruled over by none other than Nagash himself. Unlike what the name suggests, the realm of death is rather habitable. The climate is temperate, albeit gloomy. It has its woods, plains, even deserts and the like. During the Age of Myth, the inhabitants of Shyish believed that if a mortal populace believed in an afterlife, that afterlife would manifest at the edge of the realm of death, and they would find their souls there. Back then, the realm of death was a rather melancholic utopia where the dead was given the utmost respect, the natural resources of the land used to thrive, and people played games of chance and strategy to pass the time. It wasn't sunshine and rainbows, it was gloomy yet peaceful. To the point that during those times, the dead and the living fought together in camaraderie during times of trouble. However, this quickly changed with the Age of Chaos, and shortly after, Nagash started seeing Sigmar as his rival. Now, Shyish is a realm of obedient undeath. Nagash seeks to destroy all free will in the mortal realms to starve the Chaos Gods, as during the Age of Sigmar, the only free city, which is Lephis, is essentially a beacon of Sigmarite light, which Nagash hates, this fact by the way, standing in the middle of unending hordes of undeath, led by undead tyrants who answer to the greatest tyrant of them all, the supreme ruler of the undead. During the Age of Chaos, not even Nagash was safe from Archaon's wrath. After defeating Sigmar, Archaon also defeated Nagash, severely weakening him to the point he had to retreat to the continent of Styx, where he rebuilt himself. His forces were on the back foot until Sigmar's Tempest broke, which allowed him to consolidate his gains. Nagash also did the Necroquake and all, but that is a discussion for another video. Aside from Styx, where Lephis is located, the entirety of Shyish is controlled by Nagash. The continent of Charnel Court is filled to the brim with Flesh Eater courts, whereas the other death factions are scattered across the other continents. For example, The continent of Neferatia is ruled by, well, Neferata herself, who is a Mortarch of Nagash, whereas the other Soulblight sub-factions and the other death factions are scattered across the land. With the threat of certain death and repression by the undead covered, now I can tell you what the denizens of the realm do. Shyish is a realm of undertakers and the like. Memento Moris are crafted alongside trinkets to prevent any night haunt from attacking you in your sleep. The city of Lephis alongside Sigmar also worship another god of death called Morda, which is depicted as a raven. The worship of this minor deity pisses Nagash off to no end, which only gives more motivation for him to wipe Sigmar off Shyish. I also want to mention one more thing. In the middle of Shyish, in the Dwindle Sea, is a vortex called the Shyish Nadir that draws landmasses closer to itself every passing day. And if left unchecked, it might devour not just all life on Shyish, but all of the mortal realms. Make of that what you will. Ulgu is the realm of Shadow, and it is the main realm of Morathi and her son Malarian, who as of recording still has not had his own faction yet. Quick side note, when Malarian's faction does get introduced, I believe the Dark Elves of cities will be completely retconned out of existence, and he will be on the side of Grand Alliance Order. Now onto the realm itself. Ulgu, surprisingly, does not have a day-to-night cycle. The sky ranges from gloomy to pitch black depending on where you are. The entire realm is full of deceit, and it's as gloomy as Shyish is. This place is essentially the nightmare of a paranoid and or a schizophrenic, as there could be something hiding in the dark. Though I am not sure if those things hiding would be glowing in the dark or not. The very first inhabitant of Ulgu was Malarian, who was completely alone in the realm. Then came his mother Morathi, who miraculously escaped from the gullet of Slaanesh. However, they simply declared truce, for they had too much enmity between one another during their time in the world that was. Although we don't know what Malarian has been doing this whole time, we know what his mother has been up to. The main place of the Daughters of Cain, Hagnar, is located in the middle of the Umbral Vale, which makes it a key strategic location, which was how Morathi and the cult she usurped was able to hold on as long as they had during the Age of Chaos. Whereas on the continent of Clarondou is the free city of Misthaven, located at the shore of the Shadrach Sea. It is entirely a fleet-based city, and I'm curious as to what will happen to it when Malarian returns. Two final notes about Ulgu is that one, despite being so similar to Shyish geographically, aside from landmasses and seas forming spirals, it suffers from a Skaven infestation of the Clan Eshin variety. Two, Malarian and his forces are mainly located on Ulguelf. Last but not least is Hysh, the Realm of Light. The Realm of Light is the opposite of Ulgu in that it is always bright there. Sometimes it is a warm glow, other times it's a very bright light. Not only that, whereas the terrain of Ulgu is a spiral, the terrain of Hysh is symmetrical. Because of this, the twin gods Teclis and Tyrion chose Hysh as their realm of operation, therefore it is the home of the Lumineth Realm Lords. The twin gods have also divided the realms into subdomains known as the 10 Paradises. These domains are arrayed like a great wheel. The core is Geometrica, and it is surrounded by the landmasses known as Zinfil, Zytrek, Hyja, and Iliatha. The inhabitants of Hysh are oftentimes aloof, especially the Lumineth elves, for they are too busy delving in the secrets of magic. As Sigmarite and Lumineth coexist together, of course, there is a threat. During the Age of Myth, in their arrogance, the Lumineth repeated the mistakes that their ancestor had done all those eons ago in the world that was. Pleasure cults popped up, and it came to a head with the event known as the Spirefall. During the Age of Chaos, the demons of Slaanesh poured into the Realm of Light, while the Lumineth were in a civil war. Many of the former ancient cities are still under the control of Slaaneshi forces, with everyone fending for themselves, Tyrion and Teclis found themselves on the back foot, only relieved by Sigmar's Tempest. Teclis and Tyrion agreed to give Sigmar's people the land of Zinthil. It is a vast desert which the elves invented advanced magical irrigation technology to make the place more habitable for humans. In exchange of their alliance, neither Sigmar nor his forces are allowed to launch crusades on Hysh without the permission of both Teclis and his twin brother Tyrion. So despite looking nice, symmetrical and pretty, this is only the surface appearance. As you know, Slaanesh rots everything to the core. I know I'm passing important events that happen in the realms, but again, they will be covered in their separate videos, so this is it for now. Because of this, I am the Nameless Scholar. As always, never forget, never forgive.